this will be possibly the first election since 2008 where your father is not around to help campaign.
Yes.
So how will this affect support for Pakatan Harapan if your dad not being around?
I think, you know, Dr. Anwar Ibrahim is so pivotal, not just by virtue of being who he is, someone who's has so much incorrigible optimism, who is so courageous and, you know, willing to sacrifice his personal freedom to achieve, you know, a future that's predicated on principles. So his struggle embodies very much what keadilan stands for in terms of the demands for reform. I mean, reformasi reverberated back in 1998. And at the time, we were trying to establish how crucial it was to have separation of powers, to make sure that you have an Attorney General, Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission that could bravely root out corruption without fear or favour, to have a media that could really become the fourth estate, and of course a police force that can ensure security for all. So I think the fact of the matter is his ideals are the ones that carry us forward. And of course, you know, his charisma is not going to be easy to emulate, but I believe from the very beginning, they reminded us to have an electorate that wants to change Malaysia for the better. It is not predicated on one man. This is not a personality-based movement or struggle. Of course, people relate to symbols. I mean, this is normal. Whether it was the People's Power in the Philippines, whether there's a Ukraine opposition leader, there's always going to be personalities that embodies that struggle. But it's also equally crucial that any organization embodies that spirit, and that's what I think we are trying to do. And in terms of campaign, nobody worked as hard as he did. I think, you know, you could also view it, and but certainly I think for this particular round, many leaders are also doing their best, and we should really focus on our core strengths. I think the fact that Dato' Sri Wan Azam Ismail and Tun Siti Asma, they have their own set of followers. You see, the women folk are always not given enough of a priority. I feel that it's really, you know, it's a zeitgeist, you know, for female empowerment. The fact of the matter, it is our moment to seize the future of Malaysia. You want a better future, you want a more secure Malaysia, and that's not going to be secured under Najib. Is, you know, something that Harapan must sort of continue to convince, especially you know, the female community in Malaysia.
So with, you know, the embodiment of the message and ideals of Anwar, and also with figures like, say, your mother, Masudat and Dato' Siti Asma, do you think then that the opposition can move beyond Anwar's shadow?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that Dr. Anwar Ibrahim himself wants us to move beyond the shadow. You know, everyone wants to be able to contribute. But the issue is having a critical mass, having, as what Arnold Toynbee stated, a critical minority. You know, citizens who are made up of leaders in their own right. There has to be some degree of organization, of course. You know, whether groups of teachers, whether groups of civil service, whether groups of, you know, concerned and aware media, you know, for example, Geram, for one in one particular moment. I mean, these are the ones that will determine the future outcome of change. So I believe, you know, if you want to say step out of the shadow, I mean, we should harness everyone's strength. If we can harness a former dictator who has embraced reformasi, do not tell me that you can't even harness everyone else. I will say that. I mean, there has to be a degree of belief, that Malaysia is brimming with so much potential, even harnessing the strength and support of past members. Leaders might betray the movement and the struggle, but the members, you know, I think that we really have to start looking at Malaysia as a project to unify the hearts of all stakeholders. I mean, we're so long divided through the policies of the British you know, rulers, and of course under Barisan Nasional, it's always us versus them. But really, it's going to take everyone to get things going. So even Anwar's pivotal, even Mahathir for that matter is pivotal. Although we might disagree with many things, but the reform agenda is one clear-cut, detailed blueprint that will unite everyone on a pathway to good governance and a secure defense against wayward, possibly wayward politicians.
Okay.